Record this meeting. So is my screen visible to you?
Yes, Anjan.
Okay. Right. So meeting is recording. And here is the list of contents for today's discussion. We'll try to understand the arrays in Java programming. They are also the part of language fundamentals. So we need to understand what is an array and how do we declare an array, how an array can be initialized, and how do we use that, and how can we write some array of arrays, all that. Right? See, so far we have seen how do we declare the variables. Like if you want to declare 3 integer values, then you will be declaring int I equal to this, int j equal to, int k equal to, like that. 3 separate int values. But array is the one which is going to store all those 3 values in one variable, that you can call it as an array. So array is going to provide you a structure, and using that structure multiple values of same data type are going to get stored under that variable, and we call that particular structure as an array. Right? So any array that you are going to create of any type is going to be considered as an object. Why? Because it has to store multiple elements of same data type. It is going to be defined with certain fixed length structure. We say 10 elements to be stored, so it will store only 10 elements. If we try to store the 11th element, it is not going to allow you. Right? So implicitly everything that is going to be written in Java is to be considered as an object. Why? Because everything is getting extended from a predefined class called java.lang.object, right? Hence our array is also the instance of that object, we can see, right? So let's see how do we declare an array and how the structure of the Java array is going to look like. If you try to store 7 elements over there, right? 7 elements in an array you wanted to store. So the very first element is allocated with an appropriate index which starts from 0. So if there are 7 elements, then you can say that the first element is at 0th index, then first index, then second index. So like that it goes from 0 to 6. Right? So this is how the structure of any array. If there are 100 elements you want to try, then it starts from 0 and goes till 99. Right? So this is how the array is going to store all its elements. So that's why we can say that array is a 0 based indexed object. Right? So how can you declare an array? So any array variable that you wanted to work with, that need to be declared. Like the way you are working with variables of different types like int type, double type, string type, all such things. Similar to that, array should also be declared. So for that purpose, this notation is used. I mean the big brackets are used to define an array variable. Like if you say int array, so it is an int array, and what is the variable name? Counts is the variable name. So counts is what? It is an int array. You can use this array notation either along with the data type or along with the variable. Like for example, if you look at here, salary. So this salary is prefixed with that array notation. So salary is an array of what type? Float type. So you can use this array notation even as a suffix also. Names array. Names is an array of what type? String type. So this array notation, you can use it either as a prefix or suffix of the variable, or it could be used along with your data type suffix. So these are the possible ways to use that array notation so that it is going to declare an array object there in our Java program. So if you wanted to declare a matrix array, means an array of arrays, then you are going to put those array notations 2 times so that it is going to be treated as an array of arrays. So we'll see one example there, you can understand how you declare that. Right? So this is for the declaration part. So once an array is declared, then in case if you wanted to assign some values to that or you wanted to fix its size, all that, then you need to use how many elements to be stored in that. So say counts is an integer array we declared on the top, and we wanted to say how many elements of int type we need to store in that array. So if you say new, so new is an operator which is used to declare or to allocate the memory for that particular array variable with that many number of values in it. So when you say new int 5, means 5 int values are going to get stored in that counts array. When you say salary equal to new float of 5, means 5 different salaries of float values are getting stored in that salary array. When you say new string 100, so 100 string values will be stored in that names array. Means your names is an array that is going to accommodate 100 elements, 100 string values in it. Then when you say matrix equal to new int 5 and then the array notation, means 5 elements will be there. Again each element is another array of different size. Overall my matrix is going to store 5 values in it or 5 rows in it. Again each row, first row may be storing 3 elements, second row may be storing 100 elements. So that way it is going to be. So that's why you can call such kind of declaration is an array of arrays. Right? So this is how we are going to work with this Java array initialization. Right? In case if you want to initialize with your own values, instead of putting certain size, I want to declare the array object with some values. So all those values you can arrange them within curly braces, so that way you'll be able to declare an array. Suppose if you look at this, names is an array, names is a variable of string array which is storing all these values. So Kranti is 0th element, first element, second element, third element, and then this is the last element. Right? So this is how it is trying to store 5 elements in this names array. And in case if you want to access the data, access a particular value from that, then you will be using the same array operator to get the value by passing an appropriate index value to that operator. It is going to return you which value you need to get. Let's say if I say names of 2, means I wanted to retrieve the element that is located at the index 2 in that names array and then assign it to the local variable string name. So it is going to get me the second name. That is what you assigned here for your names array, this one. Right, as we said, Kranti is 0, Sai is 1 and Amjad is there at the index 2. So that's how it is going to return me that second name, or the name at the index number 2 is going to be returned. So this is how we will be working with these arrays. This is how we are going to use them. So most of the time, if you wanted to loop through an array or to retrieve the elements of an array, we will be working with the for loop. So it is going to allow us to start from the index 0 so that we will be able to fetch from 0th element to the last element. Right? So let's try to write one program which is going to demonstrating the usage of all these arrays and its usage. So Raja Singh, shall I make you the presenter for today? So yesterday I could not give a chance to you.
Okay, Amjad.
Right. So you are the presenter for today. So please share your screen.
So are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Create a, yeah, close all those things. Just right click on any one and then you can say close all. It is going to close all of them. Right. Create a new class. Name that new class as array test. Array test. And copy this array declaration inside the main method. And also the sysout statement, which is going to print us the number of elements in that array. So copy these two lines. Paste it inside the main method. Right. Press Ctrl Shift F. I don't know the shortcut in Mac box. Is it safe?
Yeah, it's Command Shift F.
Right, right. Command Shift F. Correct. Save this. Now run this. Right. So an array is declared called months array, and it is initialized with all these months as string values because the months array is declared as of type string. So all of them are the strings, Jan, Feb, March, all those things. So total how many elements are there? So that size is getting printed by using length property of the array. So it is printing me months dot length is this, right? Now let's fetch one element at a time. So write a for loop there. So after line number 8, press enter and say for, press control space bar. Don't do those things. Press control space bar. It is going to pull the for syntax completely for you. Control space bar or command space bar for you. So you want to iterate over array, just choose the first option. Right. Press enter. That's all. There you go. So int I is initialized with 0 and that I is going to be gets updated every time by saying I plus plus, and the condition is given there as I less than months dot length. So months is my array name. Months dot length means for that many number of times starting from 0 to less than 12 means 0 to 11, right? Write sys out here inside the for loop. You can say sys out. Press control space bar. Your array name, months, array notation. I mean the big brackets. Within those big brackets you can pass the index. I mean that variable I. Right. Save this. Then run this. There you go. So you are able to see on your console after printing the size of this array as 12, and all those 12 elements got printed one at a time, right? So this is how we will be able to write this array program, which is demonstrating me the data retrieval. I mean all those elements that are stored in that array starting from the 0th index till to the last one, right? And here there is one more for loop introduced as part of JDK 1.5. I mean version 1.5 came up with one enhanced for loop, it is called as. So it is a separate syntax. So just write after line number 11, write one sys out. Let us draw a line after that. Yeah, sys out. Within double quotes, put some hyphens so that we can differentiate. After that sys out, press enter and then write for loop again. For control space bar, for each. No. It is same, right? It is already, we did already.
Yeah.
Control Z. Control Z. Yeah. For control space, choose the fourth option for each. Press enter. Right. There you go. See, from the months array, it is going to fetch one value at a time because my months array is a string. So automatically it is trying to declare the local variable for that for loop, a string variable, string it says. So in case if you want to modify that variable name, you can say string month equal to or string month colon months. So 1 month at a time you are going to retrieve from that months array. For string month colon months. I mean that modify that variable name I am telling. You double click on that and then you can type month. So that is your local variable name. Local variable of that for loop. Then you can write sys out inside that and print that month. So you need not worry about the index. So it is just simply giving one value at a time from that array. Write sys out inside that. Sys out of month. Save this, run this. Right, there you go. So the first for loop is also producing the same output, and second for loop, I mean the enhanced for loop is also producing the same output. So the first for loop is known as the traditional for loop, which is available in majority of the programming languages, or you can say that it is the for loop that is utilized from C programming language into Java, and the next for loop that you used here is with respect to Java programming language got introduced in 1.5 release of this JDK, right? So that's how we will be able to use that enhanced for loop. Is it clear?
Yes, Samson.
Right. So now I want you to write one more program wherein I would like to declare an integer array, and I want you to calculate the sum of all those elements in that array. Right? So let's create a new program. Say that sum of array or sum of array elements. Sum of array elements. So declare this array and then declare that sum variable. Copy these two lines. So any values, it need not be 12, 13, 24. So any values of your choice. So I just kept, for example, some values, some integer values. Right? So I want to calculate the sum of all these values. So how can I do that? So each value need to get added to your sum, right? So sum is initially 0. So it should be 0 plus 12. Then it will become 12. Then 12 plus 13. 25 you will get. Then 25 plus 24. You will get 49. So that way it keep adding every element to that sum value. Right? So that's what we need to do. Clear? So try to write a for loop and then do that calculation. Means you need to loop through that entire array starting from the 0th element into the last element. So you can write either a traditional for loop or the enhanced for loop. Press enter for write int I colon num. Then get that I and add it to your sum. So say that sum equal to sum plus I, or you can say sum plus equal to I. Anything is fine. Sum equal to sum plus I. Yeah, once you press Ctrl Shift F, those adjustments will happen. Semicolon. And also in case if you want to print that I, you can say sys out I. So by the time you come out of that for loop, you will be having that sum. So you can print that sum value after you come out. So after the for loop, you can write one more sys out, say that sum equal to sum. After for loop. I mean after line number 12. Press enter now. Control Shift F plus. Right. Now print that sum. Within double quotes say sum equal to. After double quotes you can say plus and that sum value. After double quotes it should not be concatenated within double quotes. Right. Now press Ctrl Shift F again. Right. Save and then run the program. So those are the values 12, 13, 24, 35, 78, 99. The sum is given as 261. Try to modify those values or try to add few more values in case if you want. Save. Right, there you go. You got 384 this time. Clear? So this is how we will be able to get the data and that data gets printed here on your console. Any questions so far? Now let's say I want you to find the duplicate elements in an array. So write a new program. Duplicate elements or find duplicate elements you can say. Find duplicate elements. Okay. So let me give you that array. For example, this is an array. Int nums array and I am assigning some values. So which one is the duplicate element here?
12.
12 is the duplicate and also 24 is the duplicate, right? So how do you find that it is a duplicate element in this array? So we need to keep comparing the 0th element with rest of the elements, right? So 12 we need to compare with all the elements and find that yes, the 12 is repeated and print the 12. Then 13, I mean the first element you need to compare with rest of the elements. So 13 to be compared with remaining elements after that. 24, 12, 35, 78, 99, 24. It is not duplicate. Then 24, I mean the next element, that you need to compare with rest of the elements. So like that you need to loop through the entire array and take one element and then rest of the elements we need to compare. Means How many for loops are required here? 2 for loops are required. One is to loop through starting from the 0th element till to the last element, and another inner for loop is required that is going to begin from the next element onwards. Means if you started with the 0th element, then the next element onwards means what? First element. Suppose if you started comparing the 5th element, then you need to start that comparison from the 6th element onwards. So that's how it should be. So write a for loop. Take a regular for loop. Don't go with the enhanced for loop. Just take a regular for loop for the very first one. Iterate over array. Right. So this is your for loop. So get that very first element into a temporary variable. Say that int temp equal to, inside the for loop, at line number 9, int temp equal to, where from you need to get that? The very first value we need to get it. Nums, your array name, nums of I. Means if it is the I is 0, that element. If I is 1, that element. If I is 2, that element. Right? So this element need to get compared with rest of the elements. Put semicolon. And then write one more for loop. Int j equal to, it should not begin at 0. It should begin at I plus 1. Perfect. Press Ctrl Shift F. And we need to compare. Which one we need to compare? Temp value we need to compare with nums of j. So write if statement there inside that inner for loop. If condition, open brackets, yes, temp equal to, double equal to, nums of j. Open the curly brace and press enter. Write sys out within double quotes, say duplicate colon space plus after double quotes nums of j. Which one is the duplicate? The nums of j is the duplicate. Right? Press Ctrl Shift F. Save this. Run this. So we know that 12 and 24 are the duplicate elements. They got printed. Right? Even if you want to display every element from that array, that also you can do. So where can you do that? You can do that after line 8. Press enter after line 8. It says sys out nums of I. So all the array elements will get printed, and you are also doing the comparison and finding the duplicate element over there. Sys out nums of I. Save that and run that. Run it again. There you go. So 12, yes, 12 is a duplicate. Then 13, no. 24, yes, duplicate found for that. Then 12, 35, 78, 99, 24. This is how all those values gets printed. Right? So in case if you want to modify and test it, you can do that. Modify that num array and try to put some other value as a duplicate value and try to check it again. No more duplicates, right? So no duplicates there.
Yes.
Right. There you go. 99 is a duplicate. Okay. So this is what we need to do. Clear? Then let's define a matrix array. So how it looks like. Create a new Java program, name it as matrix array, new class, matrix array. Declare this. This is going to be your matrix array. So if you observe this ARR double array notation, so there is outer curly brace and again inside that there are few curly braces. Can you go inside that line 7 after the very first open curly brace? Can you press enter? After the very first curly brace.
Oh,
Open curly brace. After the very first open curly brace, press enter. Okay. Then after 10, 20, 30, close curly brace, comma. After comma, press enter. Similarly, 25, comma, enter. Right. And then at the end, one more enter. Perfect. So this is looking like a two-dimensional array. So in this, the
so
very first element is 10, 20, 30. It is one row which is storing 3 elements in it. Then the second row storing 5 elements in it. Then the third row is storing 6 elements in it. Then the last one is storing 2 elements in it. Right? So this is nothing but an array of array. So your ARR is known as an array of arrays. So inside that there are few more arrays. So it is itself an array of 4 elements. I mean 4 rows of data is there. And each row is again storing few more elements there. Right? So now in case if I want to access the data, what do you need to do? If I want to display all these array values, what should I do? Write a for loop. At line 13, start writing a for loop. Iterate over array. So you are iterating through the ARR, right? And then we just wanted to display the very first row elements. So take this sys out. Row I elements, I mean row 0 elements, row 1 elements, all that. Copy this sys out and paste it there. Right. So how do we get that row 0 elements? We need to loop through one more array. I mean because the 0th row is nothing but 10, 20, 30. Then first row is nothing but 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 like that. Means we need to write one more for loop. Nested for loop is required. Write that again for iterate over array. So it starts with the int j equal to 0 j less than ARR of I dot length. ARR big notations, I dot length. Perfect. No, already length is there. ARR I dot length is outside. No. I should be within array notation. ARR I is the entire array object, right? No, my friend, whatever you wrote, it was correct.
Yeah.
Only enclose that I within array notation. Right, that's all. Right? Now here inside this sysout, you can write sysout. We need to print each element. ARR I J. I should be there within notation I and one more notation J. That's all. Run it. There you go. Line number 14, you can say system.out.println. So since you did not keep ln there, it is not pushing that line output onto the next line. Right. Save, Control Shift F, and run. Yeah, press Control Shift F, fine, then run. There you can see the output on your console. Row 0 elements are 10, 20, 30. Row 1 elements, row 2 elements, row 3 elements, all these. Clear?
Yes, Hamza.
Right? So I want you to practice all these things, and also an exercise is given at the end of this PDF, 2 exercises. So one exercise is, just now you found the duplicate elements. Similarly, I want you to find the distinct elements in a given int array. Right? Distinct elements means not duplicate things. Then one more program I want you to write is, separate all those distinct elements into another array and duplicates into one more array. Means if one array is given to you, one big array of some say 20 elements is given to you, wherein 5 elements are repeated, means duplicate elements. So get all those duplicate elements into one table and all the distinct elements into another table. Right? Can you do that? So those are the 2 exercises I want you to do with respect to this array things. And also you can verify these 2 links. The first link takes you to the Oracle documentation under the section nuts and bolts, and it explains very well about arrays, and also it provides you some exercises to do. On left hand side you can see that summary of arrays and then questions and exercises are that. And this is the last one. Java2novice.com is going to provide you some good examples. So I want you to practice through those examples, try to understand them and get those examples onto your say previous program, next program, like that. If you keep clicking, it will give you a lot of examples with respect to arrays. Right? So try to understand there, and if possible try to copy them into your local Eclipse and practice. So that way you can practice as many examples as possible and you will be able to understand the things. So if anything which is not understandable to you, let me know. If you are facing any errors while running the program, if you are not able to understand what the hell is writing in the java2novice.com, all that, right? So I am ready to help you. Okay, so is it clear so far? So I did not see anyone who started practicing some exercises. Yesterday also I asked you to practice some exercises. Anyone done with those exercises? I mean, I'm not going to keep monitoring you like a classroom kind of thing, but I just recommend you request you to practice as much as you can, right? So if you are asking questions means I can understand that yes, you guys are practicing. You are not asking means I don't know how can I assume. Okay. So please keep practicing. Why? Because those who are sponsoring you, they are coming back to me sometime, like most of the time during the weekends and all, and they keep asking me, please assess this student and let us know how he is doing all that. So it should not be, I mean, I can say all are doing good, but until and unless without looking at how you are practicing all that, telling some, giving some wrong impression is not correct. That's what I feel, right? So please do practice, and whenever your client comes back with a very big sheet to evaluate you, right? So it is not fair to put all positive things. Okay? So keep practice and let me know if you are facing any issues. I am going to upload this Java 5 PDF also in your shared folder. Are you guys downloading all the things on timely basis? If not, please do it today. Why? Because I am going to take out few things as my limit is reaching the maximum capacity of allocated for me on my Google Drive. Right? So I uploaded all the 5 PDFs so far whatever we discussed. You go to drive.google.com. Can you go, Raja? Drive.google.com. I directly type drive.google.com in any tab. Open a new tab and type drive.google.com. Right, and click that shared with me option. You will find a folder that is shared with you, and in that folder you'll be able to see all our content. Yes, Java batch October. There you go. Right? So all your MP4 files are there, PDFs are there. Just now I uploaded the array handling related PDF as well. Right, so please download all of them into your local folder because they are not going to be there forever on my Google Drive. Okay? So that's all for now. Any more questions? Any more doubts? All good?
Yes, Hamza.
Bye. Thank you. See you then. See you tomorrow. Thank you, Shikanya. Thank you all.